Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. As you guys know, the New York Knicks came out victorious last night on the road up against the Portland Trail Blazers, the final score being 123 to 107. And this was such a huge win for the New York Knicks when you just take a look at the overall context, the way the New York Knicks took care of business in the second half of this basketball game. They faced tons of adversity, down 16 points in that first quarter. They were down 10-0 at the beginning of this game. We couldn't do anything right at all. We didn't take care of the basketball. RJ Barrett, there was one sequence, he had like 3 turnovers in literally a minute. Randall was settling too much. His shots were way off from beyond the arc, and he didn't hit a 3 in this ball game. I believe he was 0 of 5 from beyond the arc, but we're late on our rotations. We got out hustled. We just looked sloppy. It was just total mess, honestly. Just one of the worst starts for the New York Knicks this season. But now, after this win for the New York Knicks, the Knicks are 11 games over 500, and they are 41-30 on the season. And most importantly, they are that 5th seed once again. As you guys know, the New York Knicks did drop to that 6th seed when the New York Knicks were on that 3-game losing streak. That 2-game losing streak when it came to the Western road trip, and we couldn't afford to lose 4 in a row. You had to come out victorious. I know you still continue to have no Jalen Brunson, but it was pretty cool to see that Jalen Brunson didn't have a walking boot on, so he is making some progress, but still don't rush it back. There was no Jeremy Grant in this game for the Portland Trail Blazers, but obviously you have Damian Lillard on the other end, and I was really thinking about it. I don't know if anyone's ever going to surpass 100 points or drop 100 points in a basketball game again, but he's definitely at the top of the list when it comes to coming close to dropping 100 points. The way he's just able to score the basketball in totally like a bunch of different ways, his range is unbelievable. So he's definitely at the top of that list. He could just be a one-man show out there on the basketball floor. And the Brooklyn Nets did not come out victorious last night up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, so this was huge for the New York Knicks to win this game, and they ended up coming out victorious. And the Nets have had some impressive wins, but let's continue to stack these wins and solidify ourselves as that 5th seed. It's not going to be easy playing Philly or the Cleveland Cavaliers the way it looks like the seeding is going to be right now for the NBA playoffs, but obviously you just want to see this team. I want to see this team come out of the first round. There's definitely some weaknesses that we need to work on, but when you take a look at this basketball game, like I mentioned, we were down 10-0. We couldn't hit the side of the barn when it came to 3-point shots. A lot of our shots were rimming out. We would dribble, penetrate, not finish at the basket. Randall got off to a horrific start, and yes, he had a very good scoring game up against the LA Lakers. He played at a very high level when it came to scoring the rock, and I really loved the way he attacked after kind of getting off to a slow start at the beginning of that game versus the LA Lakers. He wasn't settling as much. But when it's come to a basketball IQ side of things, his IQ's definitely been off these last few games, especially without a Jalen Brunson. And I do think the offense is a lot more simplified for a Julius Randle when he has Jalen Brunson out there on the floor, because it looks like he's just all over the place and he's doing too much thinking out there on the basketball floor. And you saw Anthony Simons was scoring at a very high level. He was scoring from just like unlimited range, and he's one of the most underrated bucket getters in the league. I really liked him coming out of IMG Academy. He actually didn't go to college. He was really raw coming out of high school, but he's a very good basketball player and one of the most prolific scorers in the game, and definitely one of the top scorers for the Portland Trail Blazers, one of the top scoring options. So you had Anthony Simons, who was playing very well, and you're not doing a very good job moving your feet, communicating on the defense side of the basketball when Matisse Thybulle has 10 points in the first quarter. Matisse Thybulle is an elite level defender. He could defend 1 through 5, but his career high is 20 points. That's the most points he has scored in a basketball game. That career high came up against the Toronto Raptors, so you're not in good shape on the defense side of the basketball. But then also at the same time, it's like, all right, maybe like that will fade off, and maybe this is kind of like a fluke. He's not the best of scorer in the world, Matisse Thybulle. So we'll see how this game unfolds, and hopefully we can get into a rhythm. And what I thought really set the tone in this game was the bench. Miles McBride comes off the bench. We could talk about his defense. We could talk about the 3-pointers he knocked down. He had a really nice dunk in transition when Josh Hart came up with the steal and found Miles McBride for that dunk. But he came into this game and had 3 assists like immediately right off the bench, and he found Julius Randle inside. So he was simplifying the offense for Julius Randle, and he was finding Randle in the spot. So you definitely got to give credit to Miles McBride. But yeah, Miles McBride was playing fantastic defense. He was efficient from the outside. He had a career high 18 points, and I was very happy for him because, he plays very hard out there on the floor, and him having 18 points is damn near having 50 points for him. Like I mentioned, 8 points is equivalent to 30 for this dude because he's so hard on the defense side of the basketball, because he does the little things. He takes such great angles on the defense side of the basketball. He's just an absolute dog when you watch Deuce McBride or Miles McBride. So I was really happy for Miles McBride, and he was one of the main reasons we won this game. You got to give credit to Obi Toppin as well. Obi Toppin He came in this game, he splashed a three, and he had a really risky play in transition that I'm like, he could have laid it up, he could have dunked it, and possibly would have got benched, but he made the three. He stepped behind the three-point line in transition and absolutely nailed it. So I was glad to see Obi Toppin knock down that three from the outside. I didn't think his defense was horrible. He was a solid contributor. He was in double digits. He knocked out a couple threes, I believe, when it came to that fourth quarter. Like I said, we absolutely dominated the second half. So one of the main reasons we were able to come back from down 16, we have to finish at the basket. We need to get into the paint. We need to draw fouls and stop the clock. The three-point shot clearly isn't working, but get after it on the defense side of the basketball. Force tough defensive possessions or offensive possessions for the Portland Trailblazers, but obviously it was scary, like I mentioned. You have Anthony Simons that's scoring, you have Thibault that's scoring. Shaedon Sharpe had a couple buckets off the bench. He did only finish this game with 6 points, but I'm like, Lillard's not even on a tear now. That's kind of the scary thing. But the second quarter, it was very, we started to cut down the lead a little bit and start to do those things like I mentioned, stop the clock, get to the free throw line. One of the things holding us back, though, we weren't consistently making our free throws, and the three-point shot was just absolutely atrocious. Grimes didn't do really anything in this game offensively, even though I didn't think he got a lot of touches to score the basketball, but there's times I'm like, he has to be more aggressive there on the offense side of the basketball. So you probably wanted more from a Quentin Grimes, to be completely honest with you guys. And quickly, you may not see 6 assists or anything like that, but I like the way Quickly moved the ball around. I didn't think he tried to do too much out there on the floor. He looked very steady at the point guard position. When I think of a steady point guard, I think of a Tyus Jones, and obviously his game's way different than a Tyus Jones, but Tyus Jones, he runs the show, and he just makes the key plays out there on the floor. He makes the smart basketball play. He takes what the defense gives him, and I really like what Quickly did at the beginning of the game, but obviously Quickly was one of the main reasons we're able to be successful and come up with a lead that we were down 16 points, and then we're up 18 points in the second half. Just a freaking awesome turnaround by the New York Knicks. But I thought we started to be a lot more physical. I thought Hartenstein was the better center again compared to the Lakers game and then this game. Hartenstein, yes, he picked up a few fouls in this game, but he's very physical in Nurkic when Nurkic checked in the game, or when Nurkic was out there on the floor and he was matched up with him. When Eubanks would check in the game, I thought he was very physical with the Eubanks as well. So I really got to give credit to Hartenstein. Another game that he didn't score, but he was also a beast on the boards, and you cannot allow second chance opportunities, especially up against this club that could score at a very high level. So the New York Knicks were coming back in this game. We're cutting it to a 3-point game, but then Damian Lillard has his 20-point second quarter. He's just playing at an all-time high level, but I love that our guys responded. Like McBride playing good defense, and he was bringing offense to the table. Randall started to get it going a little bit. Yes, he still didn't have some crazy efficient game, and he didn't splash it well from the outside, but RJ Barrett was able to get into the paint and finish well. And I know RJ Barrett only made 1 3, and he did not have an efficient game shooting from the outside, and he definitely needs to, these are open shots he has to knock down, or he just needs to knock them down regardless. But I really loved the way he got into the paint, and he was finishing very well in the paint, and he was a man possessed finishing in the interior in the LA Lakers game, and his defense has definitely made a turn, I feel, these last few games as well. And I don't know what it is, but he's been working on something defensively, or it just looks better out there on the floor. It just looks like there's more effort, and hopefully he keeps it up for the rest of the season. But there definitely is a flip switched for RJ Barrett on the defense side of the basketball. So RJ Barrett's definitely one of the main reasons we won this game. And just overall, everyone was one of the main reasons we won this game, because if you take a look at the New York Knicks compared to the Portland Trailblazers, we had more of a collective team effort, to be completely real with you guys. Our bench completely outscored their bench. Our bench just absolutely took advantage of their bench. You had Josh Hart, who came off the bench. He was a freaking beast in this basketball game. And what I love about Josh Hart as well, he just changed the entire offense. We didn't really have a flow. We didn't have any identity on the offense side of the basketball. I thought we were settling. We weren't getting the highest of quality shots. As soon as Josh Hart checks in the game, high energy defense, pushes the pace, and gives us easier buckets in transition. And Josh Hart did exactly that. He had a 16-8-9 game, a near triple-double. He was just an absolute beast out there on the floor. He was rebounding the heck out of the basketball. He was getting after it defensively, clogging the lanes. He was scoring the paint. He knocked down a couple threes from the outside. I just love Josh Hart's approach, and he continues to be the ultimate New York Knick. But that was the thing. Yeah, it was a collective team effort for the New York Knicks. And after that first quarter, when Anthony Simons was scoring, Thibault was scoring, we knew Thibault wasn't going to be scoring at a high level after that first quarter. The Trailblazers needed to continue to get more production than just from a Damian Lillard, because obviously Lillard scored at a very high level in that second quarter. They didn't really, Simons got some buckets in the fourth quarter, and he probably still finished with tons of points in this game, but their bench didn't step up. Eubanks didn't play that well out there on the floor. I thought he played soft when he did check in the game. Cam Reddish, obviously, who we traded Josh Hart for, that first-round pick. Cam Reddish didn't play that well on the defense side of the basketball. He was very inefficient. He hit the side of the backboard on one of the threes. Hornstein had a very nice block on him. When it came to the first half, our bench was just way better. Scoring, defense, just overall production. And then on top of that, you see quickly he goes on to have an over 20-point game and 10 rebounds. Like, he just plays so hard out there on the floor. And when you watch quickly skill set, he could be a starter in this league. He can. It's just not going to be on this team, obviously, because we have Jalen Brunson, or maybe we do insert him into the starting lineup at the 2 position, or should we do that? Because maybe the lineup would be undersized, but the talent's clearly there. The production's there now. You just see the overall development, how he's able to score in a bunch of different ways now. He's not a fluke, floater, 3-point type of player now. A lot of people were saying in the past when it came to his rookie year. So I'm really proud of the progression of quickly just getting after it on the defense side of the basketball. And I know he struggled a couple games after the Celtics game, but he played 55 minutes in that game as well. So shout out to Emmanuel quickly. But yeah, we were just able to take advantage of the Portland Trailblazers just after that. Like I mentioned, it was literally the Lillard show. He didn't have much help, and we were just able to get whatever we wanted in the interior as well. And we got to the free throw line. The 3-point shooting wasn't that consistent. We did start knocking down threes later, but when it came to the third quarter, we were just able to take over. Quickly had double-digit points in that third quarter. RJ Barrett, I believe, had near double-digit points in that third quarter as well. Like I mentioned, the production of a Josh Hart. Randall was starting to score. He still, even though he was inefficient, he still finished 20 points and got some tough buckets in the inside, in the interior. And yeah, we're up 8 or 10 points after that third quarter. It was just ultimately our quarter. We took over when it came to pace, when it came to defense, shot selection. And yeah, Lillard had nearly 40, but you need more from other guys. Lillard may have had 40, but it's out of 97 points, or it's out of 104 points. Like, you still need more from your overall club at the end of the day. Nurkic had a solid first quarter. I thought he was just like outmatching us physicality wise, but you needed more from Nurkic as well. He kind of went quiet. There was a lot of players for the Trailblazers that went quiet. You needed more from a Shaedon Sharpe. You needed more from Anthony Simons probably in that second half when it came to that third quarter as well. And we just absolutely took advantage of them when Lillard was checked out of the game as well. But yeah, the fourth quarter was just so much fun to watch. You had Obi Toppin splashing a couple threes. We're just pouring it on. Josh Hart hit a 3 at the very end. Quickly hit a 3 at the very end as well. It was just an awesome game to watch. McBride splashing threes. Josh Hart, very nice defensive play. Threw a pass to Miles McBride. He threw down a dunk. And yeah, McBride could add 20. He did miss a couple free throws. This club needs to do better when it comes to the free throw line. There needs to be more consistent 3-point shooting. Quentin Grimes definitely needs to step up his game. But you could say also at times we have to give him more shots within the offense and feed him early, or he may not really be on for the rest of the game, but he's still going to try very hard defensively. And yeah, the New York Knicks just completely dominated in the second half. Crazy that we went down 16 points to being up 18 points. Let me know down below your thoughts on this game. And McBride also had this crazy monster block on Anthony Simons in that first half, which I loved. That offensive possession didn't go well. Anthony Simons was running in transition, looked like he was all alone. McBride just had this insane hustle swat. I just love the way he plays the game of basketball. But yeah, let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.